Question number 13 on single entry or incomplete records. Naresh, Ramesh and Dinesh. So I'll write it as NRD. 3 partners in the firm sharing profits and losses in the ratio 5:3:2. Okay, so 5:3:2 is their profit sharing ratio. They keep the books on single entry system. On 31st March 2006, the following affairs are extracted from the books. So, statement of affairs opening 2006 का दिया हुआ है अपने को. So 2006 का statement of affairs बनाने की जरूरत है क्या? नहीं, because already capital is given. सबसे पहले capital ढूंढो, नहीं मिलता है, statement of affairs उस year का बनाना ही है, but capital is given. So opening state of affairs need not be made. Plant, land and building, stock, debtors, cash, ये कैपिटल का डेबिट बैलेंस है, मतलब ओवर विड्रॉन. पॉजिटिव बैलेंस ऑफ कैपिटल हैज टू बी क्रेडिट. सो टोटल कैपिटल निकालते वक्त नरेश प्लस रमेश माइनस दिनेश will be your opening capital. Remember that. Creditors, and Ramesh has also given loan 10,000, which will be important. Now it was found that the plant was overvalued by 5,000. So tell me, यहाँ का plant 45,000 है और हम बोल रहे overvalued by 5,000. Will in closing statement of affairs you will subtract it? No, we will write the amount given and use this information in net profit after adjustment. Just mark and keep it. Don't make any changes for statement of affairs. We don't consider additional information until and unless it is bang on for your statement of affairs. And creditors were undervalued by rupees 2,000. Okay, so creditors be undervalued hai. This you just mark and keep. We have to do it later on. On March 31st, 2007, the assets and liabilities were as follows. Here is their capital given? No. See, plant, land and building, stock, debtors, creditors, cash. So you have to find out the capital. So first made statement of affairs as on 31st March 2007. So that is plant 50,000. Asset में डालो plant 50,000. Then land and building 30,000. Then stock 30,000. Debtors 25,000. Creditors 25,000. Creditors is your liability. Creditors 25,000. Cash rupees 15,000. So cash is 15,000. So just check here how many items. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and we have 5 items here. Plant, land and building, stock, then your debtors and cash. Capital account of Dinesh is missing. So anyways, our balancing figure has to be the combined capital. So leave this. The total here will be 1,50,000. And now check the credit side. We had creditors, we had Ramesh loan. So Ramesh loan, nothing is said that it was discontinued. So you have to write here again Ramesh loan. This is important. It was given in opening. Nothing is said for closing, but the loan has been repaid, has not been mentioned. So Ramesh loan, we assume it is being continued. Ramesh loan. How much it is? It is 10,000. We have taken it from the opening statement of affairs. Now creditors is given and balancing figure will be your capital. So just take out the total. It is 1,50,000 and balancing figure is your capital and it is combined capital of three partners. $1,50,000 minus 25,000 minus 10,000 comes up to 1,15,000 and the total is 1,50,000. So let's start making combined capital account of the three partners. It goes like this. First of all, by balance brought down. Now see what is the opening capital. Naresh 50,000, Ramesh 40,000. 5 plus 4 90,000. So 90,000 in the inner column here. But we are finding out combined capital and Dinesh has a negative balance of 2,000. So subtract 2,000 here. 90,000 minus 2,000 comes up to 88,000 is your opening capital. Now closing capital. So to balance carried down. Take closing from here. 115,000. Okay, closing capital. Now what is remaining for capital account? Drawing additional capital and the balancing figure will be your net profit before adjustment. So two drawings. Let's read. Where are the drawings given? See, last point. During 2006-07, Naresh and Ramesh withdrew 7,500 and 5,000 from business respectively. So, the drawings of Naresh and Ramesh is 7,500 and 5,000 respectively. Add them and we get the drawing. Tick mark this that we have done this adjustment and this is 12,500. We don't find any additional capital. So by bank any additional capital is nil here. You may not write it. For your understanding, I count 5 items which I am putting it in the combined capital account. Opening capital, closing capital, drawings, then additional capital is nil here and the balancing figure what you will get will be your net profit before adjustment. So by net profit before adjustment, 1,15,000 plus 12,500 comes to 1,27,500 minus 88,000. So 39,500 is your net profit. Let's put this in our statement of profit and loss account. Closing capital. We had found out closing capital. We'll always start statement of profit and loss with closing capital. Statement of affairs में ढूंढा था ना closing capital. Closing capital or capital as on 31/3/2007 is 1,15,000. Okay, add less is my code. Add less. Add क्या करोगे? D-लो drawings. Drawings during the year is given to you. दोनों partners का मिला के 12,500 which comes up to 127,500. 127,500. Then less what? पूरा add उठा के नीचे लाओ, add से बनाओ additional capital, ADDITIONAL, additional capital, which is not given, so just put a dash. No additional capital mentioned in question, and less opening capital or capital as on 31/3/2006. So 31/3/2006 capital you have to write here. The combined capital or the opening capital that we found out 90,000 था, minus 2,000 एक पार्टनर का डेबिट बैलेंस आ रहा था. So 90,000 minus 2,000 is 88,000, and subtract this and we get net profit before adjustment $39,500. And remember, this is the same amount that you will get in your capital account as well, 39,500. Okay. Now, starting up with the adjustments. It was found that plant was overvalued by 5,000. So, when plant is overvalued by 5,000, you have to reduce it. Net profit को कम करो, overvalued है वो. So, less plant overvalued by how much? By 5,000. Okay. एंड क्रेडिटर्स व अंडरवैल्यूड. क्रेडिटर्स को हमको पे करना है, वो अंडरवैल्यूड है तो 2,000 अब हमको उनको देना पड़ेगा. सो माई लाइबिलिटी इज इंक्रीजिंग. आई विल अल्टीमेटली डिक्रीज माई प्रॉफिट. लेस क्रेडिटर्स अंडरवैल्यूड, because creditors are undervalued. So I have to remove 2,000 by the amount from which they are undervalued. Now next point. This is the balance sheet. This is the statement of affairs item we have already plotted. Now, plant to be depreciated by 10% per annum. Depreciation on plant. Now, how much is plant in my closing balance sheet? It is 50,000. So first of all write less depreciation depreciation जो actual value है उस पे लगता है. Plant closing balance sheet में आपने देखा plant 50,000 है, 50,000, but understand that plant is your plant and machinery. It has been written that it is overvalued by 5,000. So first remove this 5,000 from here before calculating your depreciation. Otherwise you will be calculating wrong depreciation. So although we have to take the balance sheet or the statement of affairs item, but पहले जो overvaluation का portion है वो हटाओ यहाँ से. So 50,000 minus 5,000 is 45,000. 45,000 का 10% at the rate 10%. So plant का depreciation 4,500. You have to be careful over here. If you do it before removing the overvalued part, you will have a difference. Then you will get 5,000 here, which will be wrong. So less depreciation we have already done here. Next, a reserve for bad debts is to be raised at 2.5%. So what are the debtors amount that we need to know? Debtors is 25,000 as mentioned here. So bad debts reserve बनाएंगे तो profit और कम ही होने वाला है. So net profit कम होगा. So less bad debts reserve. How much? 25,000 debtors is given in the question. 25,000 का 2.5 5%, that comes up to 625. So subtract that also. Now at last we'll be finding out interest on partners capital to be allowed at 5%. So interest on partners capital. Now tell me one thing, that at the beginning two partners had credit balance and one partner has debit balance. So will you ever pay interest on a negative capital? No, only the partners who have debit balance will be paid interest. So interest on capital क्या होगा? Expense of business, so less interest on capital. Naresh ka it's given 50,000, Ramesh 40,000. So Naresh and Ramesh 50,000, 40,000. एंड दिनेश को कुछ नहीं मिलने वाला है बिकॉज उसका कैपिटल का बैलेंस डेबिट है, तो उस पर कोई इंटरेस्ट नहीं है. एंड 5% पे नरेश और रमेश को आप इंटरेस्ट दीजिए. दैट कम्स अप टू 5,000, 5%, 2,500. इंटरेस्ट ऑन कैपिटल से प्रॉफिट कम होगा. एंड रमेश का 40,000 into 5% comes to 2,000. So this you have paid. Now listen, one important point is you are paying interest on capital because it is mentioned in the question, but see in the balance sheet there is a loan. A partner has given a loan of 10,000 which is continuing, and you have to mandatorily pay interest on loan if it is mentioned or not mentioned in the question. Loan as a outsider को भी आप देते उसका interest. So partner को interest क्यों नहीं दिया? Partnership Act provides for a interest on loan at the rate 6% per annum on partner's loan. So even if it is not mentioned in the question, you have to make this payment of interest, and by paying this interest on 10,000 on Ramesh loan, your profit will be decreasing. So again, less interest on Ramesh loan. How much? The loan is 10,000 and the act provides 6% per annum से देना ही है पार्टनर को लोन. So even if nothing is said, you have to pay interest at the rate 6%. 10,000 का 6% comes to 600. So net profit 600 से और कम हो गया. So calculate 39,500 minus all the above items. You get 22,275, that is 22,275 is your net profit during the year. Now this net profit has to be shared among partners in their profit sharing ratio, which was given as 5:3:2. So Naresh, Ramesh, Dinesh, their ratio is 5:3:2. So share 22,275 in this ratio. That comes to 11137, then 6683 and 4455. So the important point in this question is pay interest on loan to the partner even if it is not mentioned in the question. And what is the rate you will apply? The rate is 6% per annum. And the second important point is depreciation. If any plant is overvalued or undervalued, any asset is overvalued, first give the effect of that overvalued or undervalued thing in your adjustment and then find out the depreciation. Otherwise you will get a wrong amount. Proceeding to the next question.